Welcome to the Pod. I'm here with Marisa Lonic, founder of Mama Work It, author, speaker, podcast host, and mom. Hi, Marisa.
Hi, thanks for having me here.
Thanks for coming today. I'm so excited to have you join me, and I would love for you to share a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. So, as you mentioned, I'm Marisa Lonic. I'm the founder of Mama Work It, which is an organization geared at supporting moms with the juggle of work life, mom life, wife life, fill in the blank life. I am a coach, an author, a speaker, and most importantly, a mom and a wife. And what else can I tell you about myself? Let's see. I worked for many years in the corporate space, juggling, all of those things. And I now full time support moms in this environment. So I'm so thrilled to be here.
I'm so happy to have you here, and I love the name Mama Work It. It has like a nice ring to it.
Yeah, it's very me.
So perfect. So I noticed that you had a live not too long ago that was talking about the holidays, and I wanted to kind of dive deep on that. Um, so, in your eyes, what is the true definition of a wealthy and healthy holiday season?
Yes. Okay, so I think you're referring to the Holiday Habits Workshop. Yeah, I ran this live a few weeks ago, but it is available still for anyone who's interested in viewing it. And I guess healthy, wealthy, is that the question? I want to make sure I'm answering it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in my eyes, this is a very subjective answer and question because anybody can feel healthy and anybody can feel wealthy with any amount of money at any weight in any sort of space. It's all how you feel in that moment. So if you feel good when, your jeans are fitting a certain way and that makes you feel healthy, great. If you feel your healthiest when you are exercising regularly, when you are eating healthy, great. It's whatever makes you feel healthy in that moment. From a wealth perspective, it's not a dollar amount. It's how you're envisioning how you feel at that time. So, and I like to say, the more you can practice really embodying those feelings of health and wealth. So not so much that we don't want to focus on goals and things that we want to obtain. That's not what I'm saying at all, because I'm a big advocate for goal achievement. That's the basis of what I do to support moms and support my clients. But you can absolutely feel abundant and grateful with what you have while still working for more. So practicing a feeling of just even repeating that mantra to yourself of I'm healthy, I'm wealthy. I feel like I'm rapping that song right now. I am rich. All right. Anyway, so you can absolutely kind of embody that and grow into your higher self and the person you want to become. So it's not about having thousands to spend at the holidays. It's not about fitting into the size 4 outfit you're dreaming about. It is about feeling your best self. And what do you need to do to feel that? Do you need to change a habit or something you're doing? Do you need to start, saving money instead of buying coffees or whatever it is? Or do you need to be hustling and grinding a little bit more and making more money so that you feel wealthier? It's whatever it is.
Thank you for sharing that. I think that it's so true that wealth is not a dollar amount. And I feel like we think that that is like, it's that amount, that dollar sign. And so I love that you bring that up because it really brings in where the financial strains, let's talk about the financial strains in the holiday season. We're always so worried about the amount of money that we need to spend or the gifts that we're giving. Like, how do you feel about that financial strain that we give ourselves during the holiday season?
I think this falls under the perfectionism umbrella. And one of my habits in my workshop that I talk about is dropping perfection. Because here's the thing, we we have this kind of false advertising out there that there's this sense of perfect and we're always striving for it. Like we always want our living room to look like the Pottery Barn catalog, or, our Christmas card photo to look like what's already on the Minted website, or, whatever it is. But when you strive for something that is absolutely unattainable, you always end up falling short and feeling disappointed. You always end up falling short and feeling disappointed. And that to me is sort of like hand in hand with what you're talking about on this financial pressure, financial void, whatever we want to call it. So when we can get to a point where we feel that it's never going to be perfect, perfection's unattainable, done is better than perfect, my situation is perfect just as it is. When we can get to a mindset, a point where we can really embrace that, we can let go of so much pressure and so much guilt that is just taking up so much time and space and energy around the holidays, and really robbing us of the joy that we crave and want to experience during the season.
Absolutely. I love that you brought up perfectionism because um, it's not always thought about like that. You always think that, oh, it's that I don't make enough money, or, oh, I didn't keep up with the Joneses next door. It's actually our mental idea of perfectionism, in that the Joneses across the street are, an obtainable thing that we need to have that we can't have because we don't make that means that they make. So I like that you bring that up because I, even in myself right now in this moment, I didn't think about how it's a perfectionist kind of point of view. It's it's just interesting that you brought that up. So thank
Yeah, and
you.
and let's get real about the Joneses, you guys. I mean, the Joneses are not perfect. Okay. There's a lot going on behind those closed doors, probably stuff that is not going on in your home, thankfully, that you don't want. So, remembering that everyone's human, what you're seeing on social media is a highlight reel. It's not all true. It's not all rainbows and butterflies on the other side. And really embracing that, and really coming to terms with that is crucial.
Yeah, I'm glad that you say that too, because it's true. We don't know what's happening on the other side of that home. And I think that the highlight reels can be so confusing because you're like, their lives look so perfect and they have the perfect photo and the perfect house and everything. So I'm glad that you bring that up too, because it goes all back to that wanting that perfectionist life that no one actually lives. No.
Nobody, nobody.
So going with that, what are some like financial self-care hacks you would give for this?
Hmm. Well, I would absolutely say that if you're not caring for yourself, you can't possibly care for others in the way you yearn to. So, at the level that you're probably the pressure you're putting on yourself for that. So, what do I mean by this? Well, if you're not feeling your best, think about on a day where like you feel kind of just not 100% physically, right? You feel maybe you have a little cough or a cold or headache, who knows? You can't perform and do all the things that you want to do that day at your best, at the level that you intend to. Usually you're impatient or grumpy. Maybe you're not as creative as you'd like to be. You probably don't have as much energy. Um, Maybe you feel sluggish. You might not want to like do your normal daily routine habits of like, eating well or exercise because your body just can't manage that. And so self-care is actually like it's the epitome of being able to do for others. And I think when you can flip the script on that mindset, it's really, really important, because a lot of people tend to think of self-care as being something selfish, like they're taking time away from other people to take care of themselves. And then, oh my gosh, and then I'm not fulfilling these responsibilities for others. But actually, you are so much more productive, such a better, human being overall, wife, partner, mom, stepmom, friend, employee, all the things, all the titles that you have, if you're just taking care of yourself beforehand. Financial hacks for this, these do not have to be expensive things. I know when we all close our eyes, we all tend to think, oh, self care, a day at the spa, a mani pedi, an expensive item I want to buy myself from the store. And let me say, I mean, those are all absolutely self care practices. And sometimes I practice them, most times I don't. And I think most people, in a regular day to day situation, don't, either because of lack of funds, lack of time, just many reasons. There are so many things you can be doing for self care. It is anything that fills you up in that moment. Self care looks different to different people in different seasons, at different times of day, even. So, this can be a 5 minute journaling or meditation activity where you just feel like, okay, I got my thoughts out. I really touched base with my intuition. I feel really like filled up and good for the day. It can be a quick walk outside. It can be organizing your closet. I know for some people that sounds like horrible. For other people, that might bring them a sense of calm after they've done that. So it can look different, feel different, as long as it's making you feel whole again after you've done it, that is self care. So, whatever that is to you, practice that regularly.
Absolutely. I'm glad that you said that as well because it's so true with selfishness. We always think that self care equals selfish. But I always try to say this, and this is on many podcast episodes that we have out there. We really need to like, almost clear the what we thought selfish was and know what it is now. And it's not your self-care because you have an empty cup and you need to fill it. You have to
Yeah,
fill your empty cup. So it makes me sad when I hear people say, well, I can't do that because I need to, focus on everybody else but myself. And
right.
that's not fair because now you're going to feel more depleted because you're literally trying to give out of nothing. And that's very
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, you can't possibly give from nothing, right? There's nothing to give. I
Yeah,
mean, if you have $0 in your bank account, you can't go out and buy something with $0. You need to have money in there. You need to deposit some funds. And can I just add to this for a quick minute? I'm a very sort of direct kind of speaker, direct kind of coach, and a lot of women, I think especially, often feel undeserving and like someone else should be telling them to do this. Well, A, this is you and me, Brianna, telling you to do this, right, listener? But B, now it's on you. Now it's on you listening to actually take the step and make it happen because no one out there, not your partner, your boss, your mom, your best friend, anybody, no one's going to make it happen for you except you. You have to make it happen. You have to be in charge of it. So it takes practice, it takes strength, it takes habit formation, but you can absolutely do it.
I'm glad that you shared that because it's true. It is we choose. It's a choice of what we choose to do or choose not to do. So like I agree with that.
Yeah.
Um, I wanted to ask you, going back to the holidays for a moment. Let's say we have a family that they don't have a lot of money. They give themselves that like pressure and stress of the holidays. What could they do to make their traditions like our new tradition, or what could they do to bring it into back to that mindset of a beautiful day, that it was a good holiday for them? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I would say, don't make the primary importance of the holiday stuff that costs money, right? I mean, it's so super easy to fall into that trap because of, just marketing and commercials and comparisonitis and all the things happening out there. But you choose as a family, kind of, you choose the values and the way that you are running the show in your home. And while I'm not going to say that we don't buy our kids gifts, of course, we do that. That's part of our traditions. We do a lot of other things around the holidays that cost little to nothing, and you can instill traditions like that too in your household, right? Decorating the tree doesn't cost anything. If you don't have money for new ornaments, make them. Kids love to do crafts, you might even love to do crafts. Um, Driving around your neighborhood to look at holiday lights costs you nothing except the gas in your car, right? Make some hot chocolate even at home, make it a whole event. That is a really nice tradition. Put on some Christmas music. You can be really creative and think outside the box as to things to do, maybe even like hosting a potluck or doing something with others where everyone's contributing and you're in community and you're able to really have that holiday season, in a group is really nice too.
Thank you. I agree. You just like when you were talking about that, you made me think about my own past of what we did in the family. And it's funny because I don't think about the money or what kind of gift I was given. Like I remember, making snow angels with my family and who had the best snow angel in the snow. And then I know that you talked about making decorations. There was one time we actually tried
Yes.
that popcorn, like I don't even know what it's called, but you could put it around the tree. That was actually very intense, but it's a memory, like it was cool. So, and one of my favorite things I think about the holidays, just decorating, even if it is just made with construction paper or you happen to, be able to go a little bit out, like just decorating the family is what the biggest thing was too for me is seeing people that you haven't seen in for so long.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really important to ensure that you're making time for fun in this season and that you're present for that fun because as you just shared, the memories that you shared, they're nothing tremendously I don't want to minimize them, but they're nothing tremendously unique in the sense that like, oh, that one time my family, took us to a Broadway show and to see the Rockettes, or that one time we traveled to Europe. No, there's nothing like crazy, unique about it. It's beautiful, kind of mundane, run of the show sort of things that you're doing, but that is what stuck with you. And that
Yeah.
you smile when you think about and likely that you're going to want to do with your family one day. So it's just, I think you can find beauty in any sort of silly, like nonchalant activity, as long as you're there and you're feeling joy and having fun while you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I read this meme the other day that I really felt like hit strong with this. And it was basically along the lines that it wasn't necessarily the tree and the presents that brought the magic, it was my family that brought the magic. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so I wanted to ask before we go, what are some last minute tips you would give for those habits that you shared? Some quick tips.
Yeah, I think oftentimes the holidays people can feel a lot of pressure, a lot of like added stress because they're off their regular routine. There's a lot of things that they're saying yes to, events or volunteer opportunities or just, like just added things on the to-do list, right? Like the wrapping or the baking or, all the stuff that goes hand in hand. And while a lot of those things can bring people joy, and that's wonderful. For other people, the culmination of them, or even just one or two of those specific things, like really stresses them out. So I would say get really intentional about honing in on what you really like about the holidays and what you really dread. And then set some very clear boundaries when it comes to this. You don't have to say yes to every single thing. And oftentimes it's the busiest people that are often asked to do things because they are reliable. People know that they are going to get it done. And that doesn't mean that you have to feel this sense of necessity that you're the go to person, right? You can absolutely politely decline. You can set some boundaries. You can ensure that you're leaving room for fun during the season. So you are fully present. You are creating those memories, that joy with your family or with your friends, whomever. And you actually get through the holidays smiling and happy and not just like this frenzy of things to do.
And boundaries are so important to have,
Yes.
especially around this time.
Yes. I mean, they're important all year
Yeah,
long, but I think
really true.
I think they definitely get a little bit more tested probably this time of year.
Yes, definitely. So for our listeners, where can they find you?
Yes. So the best place to find me is my website, which is mamaworkit.com. It's MAMA workit.com. That is where you can find out all about what I'm up to and what products and services are available, as well as just a lot of free resources like the podcast, the blog, lots of stuff on there. So I'd love for you to visit, become a free subscriber. I send a weekly newsletter. And I hang out mostly on Instagram, a little bit on Facebook, but mostly on Instagram. And I'm at the handle Let Mama Work It.
Love that. Thank you. So as you know, I love to have a mantra before we go. So what mantra do you have that you would leave with our listeners?
Yes. Okay. I have a few, but I think I'm going to go with this one. When you feel good, you do good. When you feel your best, you are your most productive self, your best self, the best version of who you want to be, your highest self. And the only way you can do that is if, like we spoke about earlier, is if you're really taking care of your needs and what you need and what you desire. So when you feel good, you do good.
I love that. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
And with that, you are loved, you are cherished, you are worthy, and I am proud of you. Until next time, I'm the Free Pod.